Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen, or if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Amy, and today we're making a dish that's commonly thought to be from Italy, but was actually invented here in the US. It was inspired by an equally delicious dish from Italy and was adapted by Italian immigrants, but it only actually comes from Italy if it's eggplant. We all know it from our childhood, but it seems pretty common that what we remember was always bottled sauce, deli cheese slices, and those frozen breaded chicken croquettes. Do you remember those? Yeah, I remember them too, but not very fondly. So now you know, this was not really my favorite meal growing up because even my grandma made it that way. But now that I make it from scratch, chicken parmesan has become one of my absolute favorites because ragu's got nothing on this. So let's get cooking. We'll start with the choppy prep, and this is ultra easy because it's just mincing up 2 garlic cloves. When the garlic is minced, that is it for the prep. Now to the stove, and we're adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a medium saucepan. Heat the oil over medium heat, and when the oil is hot and shimmery, add in the minced garlic and cook it until it gets fragrant, which should be about 30 seconds. Make sure to stir continuously too, so the garlic doesn't burn, because burnt garlic is bitter and icky. Next, pour in 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of onion powder, about a teaspoon and a half of sugar to counteract some of that acidity, and a little teeny pinch of red pepper flakes. Give this a good stir so the seasonings and the garlic are evenly distributed in the crushed tomatoes, and then bring all this to a simmer. Turn the heat down to low and simmer this for 10 to 15 minutes, and stir it occasionally to keep things moving around and not sticking. After 10 to 15 minutes, you can see the sauce has reduced a little and is looking beautiful. Pull the sauce off the heat and set it aside for later. While the sauce is simmering, preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and now let's get our chicken ready. First, we need 2 chicken breasts that have been patted dry. We don't want the chicken to be too wet because the dredges won't stick, and that means no crispy chicken. And we can't have chicken parmesan without crispy chicken. So we also want to slice these 2 chicken breasts in half. So we have 4 thin chicken breast halves instead of 2 thick, chunky whole chicken breasts. Like butterflying the chicken, but don't keep the 2 halves attached. Last, cover the chicken with plastic wrap and pound them with a meat mallet or a rolling pin or something that's not breakable, so all 4 pieces of chicken are an even thickness from end to end. Now for the dredges, and these are really simple. In a shallow dish, add 1 cup of Panko breadcrumbs, a half cup of shredded Parmesan cheese, and a pinch of salt. Stir this up well so everything is evenly combined throughout and we don't have separate clumps of panko and cheese, and that is the dry dredge. In another shallow dish, whisk up 2 eggs, and that's the wet dredge. Make a little conveyor setup of the egg dredge, dry dredge, and the chicken, which I have over on the cutting board. Now back to the stove, and we need a large, heavy bottom skillet. Add in a 1/4 cup of oil, and this can be olive oil again, avocado oil, whatever you prefer for pan frying. While the oil heats up, grab one of the pieces of chicken and dip it in the wet egg dredge until it's completely coated on both sides. Then put the chicken in the dry dredge and press the dry mixture into the chicken on both sides until the chicken is completely covered with the panko cheese mixture. I started with some tongs, but I found it was easier just to press the dry dredge into the chicken with clean hands. Put the chicken straight into the skillet and then get a second piece of chicken ready. Add that second chicken to the skillet and cook these 2 pieces until the breading is nice and crispy and browned. Now the chicken will not be fully cooked inside at this point, but it will finish cooking in the oven. We're just crisping up the breading so it stays nice and crispy when it's in the sauce. When the first 2 pieces are done, set them to the side on a rack or a plate, cutting board, whatever, just set them somewhere out of the way. Get the other 2 dredged and in the pan, and you can add another tablespoon or 2 of oil if you need to, which I did need so the pan didn't get too dry. We're doing these in batches because crowding the pan lowers the temperature too much, and then we end up with soggy, oil-soaked chicken instead of lovely, golden, crispy chicken. Now that our chicken and our sauce are ready, it's time to assemble. And I have to remind myself that the chicken is not fully cooked because everything smells so ridiculously good right now. Okay, back to business. In a 9x13 baking dish, spoon a good layer of the sauce in the bottom of the dish. You'll use a little more than half of the sauce for this bottom layer. Now place the 4 pieces of chicken in the dish on top of the sauce layer and then spoon the rest of the sauce over the chicken. It won't cover the chicken completely, which is perfectly fine. We want the chicken to look just like this when all the sauce is gone. Sprinkle a tablespoon or 2 of fresh basil that's roughly chopped, like a really quick kind of a chop like this. Layer some nice thick sliced mozzarella on top of the chicken like this, and you want to use a good mozzarella, like the kind that comes in a ball or a pre-cut log like the one I'm using here. You could use deli sliced mozzarella in a pinch, but if you do go that route, I would recommend tripling or even quadrupling up the slices because you want to end up with a nice thick layer of cheese. Sprinkle a 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese all over everything because I think too much cheese is just not a thing. Crack some black pepper over everything, and this is ready for the oven. Bake this at 400 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes until that mozzarella is starting to show some golden color. For me, it was 12 minutes, but your mileage may vary. Wow, even before it's done, this just looks amazing. And the very last thing we need is our pasta. While the chicken's in the oven, I popped some water on to boil, threw in a bunch of pasta, I don't know, maybe about a box worth. You can use regular spaghetti, thin spaghetti, angel hair, whichever is your favorite. Any of them are gonna be delicious. When the pasta's done, drain the water, return the pasta to the pot, and stir in 2 tablespoons of butter to keep that pasta from sticking together. Our chicken parmesan is done, and look at that beautiful golden color on the mozzarella. This is exactly what we want. Our chicken is fully cooked through, the Parmesan is melted straight into the sauce, and the smell of that fresh basil is coming through right along with the chicken and the tomato. This is just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful food. This is the best chicken Parmesan I have ever made. Everything combines into a delicious dish, but you can taste everything that went into it. The sauce has such a complex, layered flavor, which is amazing given it was so simple, and it really doesn't have many ingredients at all. One bite, it was tomato forward, and then the next I get a hint of that red pepper heat. Another bite, and the basil is right there in the front. And the chicken, it's juicy and tender, and it's crispy. That extra simple breading just tastes incredible, and the mozzarella adds that final creamy cheesiness that brings it all together. I would say I'm speechless, but I just said a lot. But this is so good. You may just be speechless when you eat it. The only thing, this chicken Parmesan almost needs homemade pasta. I think I'll make my own pasta next time I make this. I mean, the box pasta was fine. It was good, just like it always is, because that's what we always eat, and it's what we're all used to. But homemade pasta versus box pasta, there's really no contest when it comes to flavor. And this chicken Parmesan was so elevated and delicious that I think it just really deserves that extra effort on my part. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to make a homemade pasta video to give myself an excuse to make this again. And it'll be worth every second. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, leave me a comment or a share if you're enjoying making these wonderful meals and desserts and fun recipes with me. Stay tuned on Wednesdays because we're making recipes inspired by popular books, movies, video games, TV shows. Currently, we're making food from Game of Thrones, and trust me, this food is way better than season 8. Ouch. But yeah. I also have an Instagram now, so please come and check that out for more beautiful food pictures and updates. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Sunday for another cozy, comforting, home-cooked meal. Bye!